Here's Jack Haggerty's spaceship handbook. It's full of plans for a lot of those 50s Golden Age and Silver Age spaceships. And if we look in here, we're going to find, here's the basic drawings for the Abbott and Costello Go to Mars rocket ship. And there are various miniatures, so I'll be making some small changes, but these are the basic drawings that I'm going to be using for the shapes and the dimensions of the model. Well, let's see if we can turn this rough block of wood into a spaceship. As you can see, I've sawn off some of the edges of it just to make it a little bit easier to turn, because bandsaw blades are cheaper than turning tools. And let's take a look and see how it goes. Okay, let's see how we're doing for diameter here. We want this just under 3 inches, and I've set these for about 3 inches. A little bit tight yet, which is good, because it's always easier to take off wood than to put it back on. So we'll just trim that down a little bit more. I've made a paper pattern here for the wing, and I'm going to cut a nice piece of wood out of this large maple block. I hate to break up a nice block like this, but it's got perfect grain structure for what I want. I'll chop a little piece of it out with the bandsaw, run it through the planer, then I will split that. Okay, I've cut out the block of wood to form the wing, and as you can see, I have drawn a line right through the center of it, and I'm going to split this block, and there we have it. I've split the block into two symmetrical wings. They'll still need a little bit of sanding and planing and final shaping, but the worst of it's over. And I made a pattern for the tail fins, and the process for making the tail fins is exactly the same as for making the wings. I've drawn the outline onto this block of maple, and I will run it through the bandsaw and the planer. You've already seen how that works on the wings, so you don't have to see the whole process for this. There we go. This block will be sliced into 3 fins. I've got all the tail fins lined up in a vise, and I'm going to drill holes in them where I will insert small steel pins that will hold them solidly to the fuselage body. As you can see now, the fuselage and the airfoils have all been cut to shape, and they've been drilled for steel pins to hold them all together. So right now it's a matter of getting these parts all assembled, and there's still a lot of detail work to do after that. And here it is, all epoxied together. We still have a few details to go. I'll be showing you the landing gear pods that go on the end of the fins. Well, they're actually optional. I cut these pods from mahogany dowel. They actually fit on the end of the fins here. I'll just give you a little demonstration like that. Now these did not appear on all of the effects miniatures, so they're actually optional. Well, it's still winter time, but luckily it warmed up for one day, just long enough for me to put a coat of gray primer on it. So it looks pretty good now. You can get a much better look of what the final appearance will be. It'll be covered with silver lacquer. And there you have it. It's got a couple of coats of silver lacquer. And I'm showing it in the in-flight position because I'm a little bit too lazy to build the landing gear. I built some engine tubes, some rocket tubes out of brass. That's kind of a whole story in itself, so I didn't include all that in the video. But there it is. Done.